Hi, Dr. Regan Robertson, CCO of Productive Dentist Academy here, and I have a question for you. Are you finding it hard to get your team aligned to your vision, but you know you deserve growth just like everybody else? That's why we've created the PDA Productivity Workshop. For nearly 20 years, PDA workshops have helped dentists just like you align their teams, get control of scheduling, and create productive practices that they love walking into every day. Just imagine how you will feel when you know your schedule is productive, your systems are humming, and your team is aligned to your vision. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. We can help. Visit productivedentist.com/workshop. That's productivedentist.com/workshop to secure your seats now.
I just really love telling people stories. I can't get enough of it. Especially people who go against the grain, that are willing to be brave and try things a little different, or maybe life throws something at them. That's and right. They have no choice but to go a different direction. So I'm pretty obsessed with the hero's journey, and I love to share those stories. So welcome to Everyday Practices Dental Podcast. I am your host, Regan Robertson. Last week, Dr. Chad Johnson and I dove into Unreasonable Hospitality, a phenomenal book that we know you'll want to pick up. And this week, we were going to continue our book review with you, and something really exciting just happened. So this week, we have a very special announcement and gratitude that we are going to share with you together. Next week, we will pick up with Unreasonable Hospitality again. And in the meantime, buckle up, sit down, and enjoy. And most importantly, thank you. Let's get started. Hi, guys. Regan Robertson here and Chad Johnson. Hi, Chad.
Hey, thanks, listeners, for making us awesomer than we even realized. We just got the results for our podcast. Regan, share the news.
Okay, we are so excited. Thanks to your votes, we came in third in the DentWoo Best Dental Podcast competition. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but it turns out that all three Productive Dentist Academy podcasts swept the awards. And there's got to be close to 100 listings in the DentWoo podcast directory as it is, right?
That's cool. Are we internationally, or is it just America?
No, we're international. Podcast knows no borders, Chad.
Wow, that's awesome. And I was making an SNL joke earlier. Why go for the gold when you can go for the bronze? So thanks, everyone, for voting so highly for us. My skull even says thank you. I thought Andy Droll might appreciate that. So
hi, Dr. Andy Droll, previous guest as well. I have a question for you, Chad.
Do it.
You have been the one that's carried the torch consistently throughout this entire podcast series. So you might remember a while ago, there was another co-host, Victoria Peterson.
That's right.
And so why do you stick around? What makes this exciting for you? You are dentisting, you are speaking in other areas, you are a coach, you are a husband, you are a father, you are a community steward. Why do you still do this?
I have fun learning, and I also am a sociable kind of guy. So, chatting with you is basically it's an excuse to, be able to chat with you, which is awesome. And also when we do have guests, which is occasional, but not all the time, it's also fun to kind of interview and talk to them. And so actually I just learn a lot, and then I have fun with you, and there's not much more to it. That's enough for me to be in. If there was a t-shirt, I'm sold. I don't know. How about you? What makes it awesome for you?
Oh my gosh. Well, the storytelling makes it the best. Listeners might know, our Fridays is oftentimes when we record, and it makes my entire week. So same, it's really, really fun to get together with you, Chad, and just chew the fat and kind of learn from each other. But I'll say the guests are hands down my favorite. I love interviewing guests, and I've listened to lots of talk shows over the years. I read quite a bit of journalism, and so I just really love telling people stories. I can't get enough of it. Especially people who go against the grain, that are willing to be brave and try things a little different, or maybe life throws something at them. That's and right. They have no choice but to go a different direction. So I'm pretty obsessed with the hero's journey, and I love to share those stories. So
That's a good point. And also trying to bring value to the listener. We have a specific audience. It's not America, though they could listen. It's for dentists and dental related people. And so, but not focusing on techniques or protocols, like specific stuff. This is everyday practices that makes people the best they can be. So whether it's we're doing book reviews, or just talking about, what in your life makes you the best that you can be. That's where the awesome sauce for our podcast is. It's a little different take.
What was your most memorable guest?
I tell you what, my favorite guest to have interviewed was Arun Garg. And I did it solo with him in Hawaii because he doesn't do that. Like, so basically I spoke at his event and I asked him, would you record with me for 5 minutes or so? And so he, obliged, but normally I don't think that would be his MO, is to go, like he doesn't schedule podcasts and stuff like that. So it was very exclusive for me to be able to chat with him and let him record it too. Like, let me record that. So I felt really honored about that. Of course, Mike Michalowicz was awesome to have an A-lister author on.
Sure.
And, anytime too that we get Victoria on, I really dig that. I seem to miss my favorite guest that I don't get on is Bruce. So when Dr. Bruce Baird comes on, I'm normally working and it seems like he gets on during the day with you. And so you'll be like, hey, do you want to do 11 a.m.?
Yeah.
Shoot, I can't do 11 a.m. So it's unfortunate, but I wish I could do 11 a.m.
Those are some great guests. I find it interesting that doctors were, well, of course, doctors are going to be both of our favorite. Kim Cooch was my most memorable. And that we put into a 2-part series. And I just was really, really excited to hear at what great lengths he went to prove his theory, and going over to Australia and just really bucking against the trend. So that one was a really memorable one. And Dr. Rebecca Browder was another one. Yeah. She was a doctor that did the B Corp. Do you remember that?
Say it again.
The B Corp. It's this certain certification or classification that you can do to your business, and it's pretty stringent.
Yes. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the deeper we go into our history, over the I don't know, 200 plus episodes that we have. I mean, I don't remember the exact number, but it's actually amazing, the content that we've had. So it's been really cool to add that value for the listeners, and just even, I mean, selfishly for my own self, to learn from them and stuff like that. There's always big, little takeaways, whatever it is, to be able to incorporate into my life.
We are at 222 episodes.
Oh, that's a fun number.
I know, 222 on the angel wings.
Yeah.
Get your crystals out.
Yeah.
Do your astrology.
Well, I don't know. I wanted to jab at Dr. Bruce and Dr. Victoria that per host, we have the most votes, because you take our votes and it's, there's 2 of us. So if we doubled it, we technically won. I'm just on a technicality.
I was thinking it even made it harder for us. So I felt like,
easier for sure.
Double the votes. Shouldn't we have had 1,600 votes?
No, it doesn't work that way. It's an inverse relationship. I looked it up. It's we should have won. I mean, you know what? And I'll let them have first and second place. That's fine. We try and be magnanimous here on our fun show.
But we're coming for them next year, right? I mean, this year, the clock is ticking.
Good win for them, though. That's really cool. You'd think it was fixed and or something like that.
When you said that, yeah, you texted me that, and I giggled because I thought you can't. First of all, you can't fix it,
right?
But it seems maybe ironic is the word. I don't know what the word is.
It's like rain on a rainy day.
Well, and to have it come in that order too, to have Bruce, Victoria, Chad, and Regan, I was like, really?
Yeah. Oh, and then listeners, I sent Regan a text saying that, it reminded me of the Le Mans win for Ford with the GT40 coming in first, second, third. And if you ever watch the movie Ford versus Ferrari, which I've watched 3 times, I love that movie. That has the story behind it. So, first, second, third, that they beat Ferrari in the 1969 Le Mans. So
I've had a burn.
pretty cool stuff.
Very cool stuff. Well, there are a lot of other amazing dental podcasts as well. I know Dr. Meghna Dasani, who's been an amazing guest of ours a couple of times. She has her podcast listed in there as well. And they had the top 25. So you can go to dentwoo.com, DENTWOO.com. And there are a lot of incredible dental podcasts. So you can go see the top 25 there as well. Did you look at the top 25?
No, but I know, like, so on a technicality, I think some of them probably get more listenership than we do even. But what that says is that the people that listen to us are awfully dedicated to us and, loyal and stuff like that. I, for example, am a small dental practice. So when they have the, vote for the best in the city and stuff like that, to me, a lot of times, like my feelings on it, I just go, my little feelings, I just go, well, I mean, we're smaller, so it's a popularity contest, right? If someone had 10,000 patients, they should be able to win.
Right.
If I only have, let's say, 1,000 or 2,000 patients and stuff like that, I'm smaller to be able to compete with that. But it's not the best dental office. It's the most popular dental office of an area. They got the most votes. So that's cool that that in spite of the fact that our listenership might be below some of these guys that have actually more listeners, that we pulled it off. So that's awesome.
That's a really good point. There was a really, I respect him a lot, really respected dental influencer. He has a huge group on Facebook. I mean, huge. I think it's like 70,000 or something like that. But he was complaining or lamenting, maybe lamenting is the better word, about why couldn't he fill a CE course and how difficult it was. And I thought to myself, that is a common challenge, not unique to him. However, that is sort of points to the point of, just because you have that big base doesn't mean that you're influencing that big base or moving that big base in the way that you want to. So know me, I like an underdog story, and I always like to feel scrappy with you. So I'm always like, we got to work hard. We got to hustle.
That's right. That's right.
But so everybody go to DentWoo. There's some really great additional podcasts that you can listen to. Congratulations to Mommy Dentist in Business. They came in, they were riding our heels, by the way. I think about a little over 100 votes just separated us between. So another great podcast as well, and a great organization. You can find them on Facebook too. So congratulations to all the winners.
And thanks to the listeners for making it happen. Bronze. We'll take it.
Thank you, everybody, so much. We look forward to telling stories for you this year and forward.
That's right.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Everyday Practices Podcast. Chad and I are here every week thanks to our community of listeners just like you, and we'd love your help. It would mean the world if you can help spread the word by sharing this episode with a fellow dentist and leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. Do you have an extraordinary story you'd like to share, or feedback on how we can make this podcast even more awesome? Drop us an email at podcast@productivedentist.com. And don't forget to check out our other podcasts from Productive Dentist Academy at productivedentist.com/podcasts. See you next week.